All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So today's pod is a quick reminder to you as much as to me that in this work that we're doing as healers, as coaches, or as healer coaches like me, the most important thing in the work that we do, there is this one element that we sometimes forget. And of course, I'm talking about this really powerful meta hack, this meta habit. And this is, of course, consistency. So if you've been on the journey now for a while, or maybe you've been on this journey for quite a while, regardless of where you are today on the journey, one very important thing to keep in mind is to ask yourself, how consistent are you being? Now, whether this is in the context of, creating content, whether it is in the context of showing up for your community, or whether it is in the context of, taking care of yourself, be that fitness, be that, eating right, whatever it is that you have chosen as a way for you to create that unlock. And the truth is that if you're looking to create that unlock where you are able to, move to the next level, this silent superpower is what makes all the difference. So if you're really looking to experience massive shifts in your life, then I can tell you this from my own experience as well, that consistency is that one ingredient that will either be the missing ingredient in you baking your cake, or, of course, in you building your empire. So let's just talk a little bit about that, right? When we say consistency, what do we mean? Consistency is obviously the most obvious thing, which is obviously the most obvious thing, which is basically you showing up every day. So I know from my own life that, for the longest time, I didn't want to create content. I had all my own reasons. Why do I need to create? What is so special about what I'm creating? And this was something that I would keep telling myself for years and years and years. And then, of course, eventually I got to that point where I realized that, I do have a message to share and that it will be received by people who are looking specifically to receive that message. So, the job is not so much, give me a second while I just quickly send a message. So the job isn't so much about, you know, uh, you have to be special. It is that your message is special. And the way that you'll discover the specialness of your message is by showing up and by sharing your message. So just something to consider that, if you have been maybe, struggling with creating content, one thing I can tell you is that if you choose to make creating content part of your existence, that means every day you're creating some form of content. For me, I have found a simple way, which is literally before the night is over, before I go to bed, no matter what time that is, I will make sure that I record this pod. Now, obviously, on the surface, I am, creating content so that tomorrow, I'm talking a year from now, 5 years from now, I will have a entire library of content from which I can obviously use a lot of tools to be able to literally harvest that data to do things that I will be using in the future. That's one obvious connection. The other is that when I am showing up like this every single day, I am literally, in the most subtle ways, I am creating micro skills, and not just creating them, but I am, honing those skills. So whether that is, being aware of my own presence on camera, whether that is being able to tune into the tonality as I speak literally every single day, or so many of these other, micro skills that will come in handy in the future. So, whatever it is that you're doing right now, wherever you may be on your journey as a healer, as a coach or a healer coach like me, regardless of where you're on your journey, in the future, you will definitely need all of these skills and they will come in handy when you least expect it, or when you haven't even calculated for it. But the skills that you have been working on tirelessly and effortlessly for months, maybe even years, they will all come together. So this is something to really consider, because consistency is, I know in my own experience over these last, 20 plus years of being in this space of healing and coaching, this is one thing that I didn't, follow consistently for a very, very long time. So there would be a lot of times when I would, do or I would create sporadically, but there were a lot of gaps in the past. The lesson, the learning that I have had eventually is that if you're looking to build something big, if you're looking to, build something that has deep roots, then consistency is that ingredient that will make all the difference. So, really think about this and maybe ask yourself, what is this one thing that you're going to be consistent with every single day, no matter what? Of course, you're welcome to, type that in the chat box, in the comment section, and I'll definitely, read your comments and respond back to you as well. So these, as I said, these pods are created in service of you. My intention is to just to remind you that you're not alone on this journey of becoming a healer, a coach, or a healer coach like me. And as always, if there's any way in which I can help you, please do reach out and let me know. And having said all of that, of course, one thing to quickly remember, apart from these pods that I record every day, I do have a couple of ways in which you can connect with me live. One is, of course, we have the Hypnosis Live experiences. This happens every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. This is one way for you to meet me live and also for you to meet our community live. And you'll get to meet some truly amazing people. And more importantly, you get to get a sense of, is this community for you? And do you really resonate with this community? And if you do, then of course we do have more programs. We have recorded programs as well as live programs. Now the live programs work on 4 tracks. These are, of course, as we say, those who pay attention. So these are paid tracks. And the first one, of course, is the foundation program. This is a 3-day process. We meet every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And on the weekend, we have a second batch between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Once you've attended one of these processes and one of these programs, and you feel that it is making a difference in your life, especially when it comes to your money breakthroughs, when it comes to working through your toxic habits, and more importantly, building your identity, your soul identity, where this literally becomes your driver in all the work that you're doing. And if you feel that this program has been of use to you, has really connected with you, then of course you can continue on, and we have the advanced program. This happens over a 3-month period, and we continue on the same schedule: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you will obviously be able to go deeper. You will be able to really do a lot of inner work. And of course, in this, there's a lot of group coaching that I do and a lot of process work that I do. And lastly, of course, if you like the way the process work was done and you want to learn how to do this, then you can be part of our mastery program, which is, of course, a 90-day process. And in the mastery program, I teach you all the skills that I have been using and that I use every single day, and which I have been honing for more than 20 years. And you get to learn this in a 90-day process, so that you can learn it in the most practical way. You can apply it when you're working with your clients, when you're doing your marketing, your sales, and of course, very importantly, when you're you know having your conversations in your communication with your family and of course your friends. So these are really, really powerful practical tools that you get to learn, you get to apply over this 90-day process. And of course, if you want to go deeper, we do have a coaching program. This is a way, if you're looking to be mentored by me and you want personal coaching, personal attention, then we do have that program as well, and slots do open up from time to time. So definitely reach out and ask for more details. And having said all of that, of course, as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.